Good day. Today, we are presenting a study on self-esteem. Background of the study. Self-esteem is an individual's overall evaluation of the self. There are two dimensions: competence, a degree to which people see themselves as capable and efficacious, and worth, the degree to which individuals feel they are persons of value. Esteem is maintained or increased by creating opportunity structures or context for self-verification. Objectives of the study. The general objective is Specific Objective A. Specific Objective B. Specific Objective C. Methodology. The first component is the study design. This study utilizes a cross-sectional descriptive study design as it describes or generates a hypothesis from a population. It is an assessment of a specific population at one point in time for a prevalence of a condition. This inexpensive and non-time-consuming study design is used to approve or disapprove our assumptions regarding self-esteem. The evidence gathered is raw data. This is unfiltered primary evidence. Instead of randomizing a sample population, this particular study gathered information from the whole population. The second component of methodology are the participants. These include fourth-year CRS students taking ResMeth 1 in academic year 2017-18. Please refer to the graph for age range and gender ratio per department. The third component is data gathering. This data was gathered via an electronic survey. The Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale is the most widely used scale of self-esteem by social psychologists. It is a 10-item Likert scale self-report measuring global self-esteem. The fourth component is data analysis. This survey serves to quantitatively measure the quality of self-esteem. The Rosenberg scale was used for this purpose. This 10-item, 4-point Likert scale includes 5 items stated positively and 5 items stated negatively. This even distribution of questions prevents a possible confounding variable that could present itself if distributed otherwise. Negatively stated questions 2, 5, 6, 8, and 9 are scored in reverse so that all answers revealing evidence of lower self-esteem are graded 0. Evidence of low self-esteem is graded as 1. Evidence of moderate self-esteem is graded as 2. And those revealing high self-esteem are graded 3. Therefore, a grade of 30 reflects the highest self-esteem, and a grade of 0 reflects the lowest possible. Comparison of results of the different courses and gender. The gathered results were then used to answer specific questions regarding the self-esteem among students of each course and gender within the College of Rehabilitation Sciences. Results. This graph illustrates the raw data collected for question 1 and question 9. The data collected for question 1, on the whole, I am satisfied with myself, is as follows. 12 students strongly disagreed, 61 disagreed, 150 agreed, and 38 strongly disagreed. For question 9, all in all, I consider myself a failure, 18 students strongly agreed, 76 agreed, 106 disagreed, and 61 strongly disagreed. In the survey, positive questions such as the first were graded 0 for strongly disagree, 1 for disagree, 2 for agree, and 3 for strongly disagree. Negative questions 2, 5, 6, 8, and 9 were inversely graded, that is, strongly agree earned a grade of 0 and strongly disagree earned a 3. Therefore, a grade of 30 reflects the highest self-esteem, and a grade of 0 reflects the lowest possible. The results found reflect that regardless of polarity, students proved to be moderately satisfied with themselves. Figure 2 shows the percentile distribution of high and low self-esteem of the male population of UST CRS ResMeth 1 students. The blue portion represents the high self-esteem and orange portion low self-esteem. The male population with a percentage of 38.36% reflects low self-esteem, and a percentage of 61.64% reflect the high self-esteem. For Figure 3, the female population has a percentage of 43.62% for low self-esteem and 56.51% for high self-esteem, thus leading us to the result that the male population has the greatest sense of self-esteem satisfaction. Mean scores of UST CRS ResMeth 1 students are the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale by course. Physical therapy students show the mean score of 17.27. Occupational therapy students have a mean score of 16.35. Speech-language pathology present a mean score of 16.64. And lastly, sports science students have a mean score of 18.5, reflecting that sports science students have the greatest sense of self-satisfaction. In conclusion, the self-esteem of students taking Research Methodology 1 in the College of Rehabilitation Sciences in the academic year 2017-18 present as normal. Staying within the range of 15 to 30 also support the fact that most of the students thought positively about themselves, although not fully satisfied. Regardless of the wording of the statements, the trend of the graph stayed the same as students generally felt moderately satisfied with themselves. It is also noted that males generally had a better self-esteem compared to females. The data gathered also show that out of all the courses, sports science had the highest level of self-esteem. To correlate the results of the objectives together, sports science students may have scored a higher range of test scores as compared to other courses, as they are mostly males. Implication of the study. Data provided by the study may be used as a baseline of self-awareness. Researchers will be able to provide data regarding the self-esteem level of students in different courses for future studies in the light that this data can be used to improve the way students think of themselves and their capabilities. As occupational therapy students, self-esteem is a subtopic that falls under self-concept, which can be a barrier or a facilitator in one's performance and participation in all occupations that are related to one's role. OTs and other allied health professionals whose domain cover mental health may utilize this data to conduct studies that would assess the correlation of occupational balance, occupational justice, and occupational alienation to self-concept that would be beneficial for future participants of the same study. This study may also provide possibilities for new learnings considering mental health. Thank you for watching.